This is a poem I wrote in my book in honor of Mexico's three great artists, Rivera, Siqueiros, and Orozco. I titled it Para los tres grandes, for the three great ones. Gracias, Diego, for your brush that showed us his dignity to the bigoted masses for whom an indio was subhuman. Un indio pata rajada, and the grandeur of Tenochtitlan, with its magnificent marketplaces, canals, and palaces. The Constantinople of the Americas, Cortés said. You painted him small in stature, dark, almost hideous, standing alongside the pale white Europeans who towered over him, who called him an Indian, gente sin razón. In hues of brown, rust, umber, burnt and raw, yellow ochre, terracotta red man with a hooked nose, yet a nobility emanates from his burnt sienna frame. We can feel the rage of your brush in your condemnation of the envy, greed, and avarice of the priests, entrepreneurs, conquistadores, vultures in wolves' clothing, birds of prey, carrion creatures and bloodsuckers, readying to extract the very life from creatures they said God created to be dominated. You painted him hanging from the trees, whipped and beaten into submission, driven like oxen to cultivate the very land stolen from him. And you endured the ire and the insults of the Rios, upper classes who detested this shameful exposition on public walls of this genocide of brown men, this Holocaust of the Americas, this contemptuous stain on Mexico. Gracias también, David Alfaro Siqueiros, for your portrayal of the atrocities committed against this red man of the Americas. Acts done in the name of decency, in the name of progress, in the name of God. Who cannot feel the agony of Cuauhtémoc tied to a slab of stone, and his fear of the vicious dogs bearing their fangs, as conquistadores in steel torch his feet to force him to confess where the gold was hidden? His eyes reek with torment. Do you think I'm on a bed of roses? He tells a countryman who cries out in pain alongside him. Your figures leap out from the walls, plunging at us, defying gravity, defying perspective. You weren't satisfied with flat figures of 2 dimensions only, and your brushstrokes were those of a calculated madman, deftly pushing paint to its limits, heaping it in globs, not cleanly like Diego. But it's in the eyes, David, that you captured the pain. They are deep, black, glossy eyes, victims of the fat politicos, the political coyotes who stole what was not theirs, the eyes of those who bravely fought oppression with sticks, rocks, and machetes, the Pancho Villases, the Benito Juárezes, the Miguel Hidalgos, the Moreloses, the Emiliano Zapatas, laying down their lives for generations yet to be born. You too made public what should have been kept in darkness, in the shadows, and you created an art that was purely Mexican, like beans, like tequila, like the maguey, like the tortilla, not salon art, pretty, calculated, orderly, with vases of pretty flowers, apples on a plate, but an art of war, of revolution, of justice. Gracias también, Jose Clemente Orozco, for the fire in your work, for the thrusting bayonets, the legions of marching soldiers, winding their way through battlefields of chemical gas, modern genocide, while men in tails and top hats drink toast to the stock market, surrounded by grinning, toothless prostitutes wearing gold rings. Campesinos struggle mercilessly against an angry sky, A barren landscape of maguey stabs the sky. Men of all stations, contorted, distorted, misshapen. A Franciscan priest leans to kiss a leper. You were angry, you were offended, you were tormented, and you forced us to see death in all its shapes and sizes, in science and technology designed for killing. In Goya-esque fashion, you showed us disasters of war, the agony of broken, pierced bodies, the rape of Latin America, a torment of the masses in blacks and reds, crimson and back, trampling of the natives underfoot, your brush a weapon, a knife, slashing at the swine-faced politicos, counting their blood money squeezed from the veins of the poor. A work of art is never negative. Being a work of art makes it constructive, you said. Yes, ustedes tres grandes redefined art, turning it into a weapon against complacency, ignorance, myths, and lies. Gracias, compadres. Though your work shames and humbles us, we sing to you. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David.